Excellent. M'excuse, c'est les travailleurs qui travaillent sur les pierres ici, très spécialisés. Eux autres, ils méritent un budget.
They deserve to know how big the deficit is. They deserve to know what interest rates and the inflation rate is. They deserve to know what the policies will be to deal with the liberal housing crisis, the liberal inflation crisis, the liberal employment crisis as well. All this requires the government to table a budget. Budgets are a plan, and Mr. Carney said during the campaign that he needed a plan. The country needed a plan. He said the slogans weren't a plan. For a real plan, you have to be ready to get going day one. I agree with him. We need a plan to reverse inflation, to cut the cost of gas, of food and housing as well. We need a plan to reduce the cost of building new homes as well. We need a plan to protect our public finance by reducing the deficit. We need a plan to protect our jobs against American tariffs. We need a plan. We need a plan to move forward. Mr. Carney said that he intends to put forward a plan. He said he was ready to develop a plan. So this is the reason why the Conservatives are disappointed to hear that the government doesn't intend to table a budget this year. This is the first time. Apart from the COVID period, it's the first time since 2002 that there hasn't been a budget, and this is the longest period of time without a budget since the 60s. That's not right. You can't say that elections are an excuse either. They could have tabled a budget before the election or after election. Mr. Harper held an election in May in 2011, and he tabled a budget after that. This is how we were able to protect jobs, reduce the deficit, and create a strong economy for all Canadians. So I'm here today to reach out to the Liberal government. I would ask Mr. Carney to meet with me and all other party leaders as well, so we can put forward our ideas so that he can table a budget by the summer. The Conservatives are ready to work in cooperation with the government on procedure. The procedure required to table a budget and to allow the government to do that. What we're proposing is the following. First of all, to cut bureaucracy, consultants, foreign assistance to reduce inflation, the deficit, and taxes. Secondly, we have to reduce costs for Canadians. We have to do that by reducing taxes by 15%, by eliminating GST on new homes, and by allowing Canadians to buy cars built in Canada tax-free. Thirdly, we have to protect jobs against the American threat. What does that mean? It means eliminating tax on capital gains for those who decide to reinvest in Canada, to foster vehicle production here in Canada, and to appeal all anti-resource legislation put in place by the government to allow Canada to build mines, pipelines, nuclear plants, LNG plants, and the rest. So to sum up, the Conservatives are proposing a budget which would reduce costs, taxes, and would increase economic growth by freeing up our resources and our industry across Canada. We're here. I put forward ideas. I want the Prime Minister to steal my ideas. I'll make it easy for him. I'll go to his office and I will give him my ideas, and he'll be able to implement them in a budget in 2025. Let's do it. It's the right thing to do, I think.
As I was just saying, and I walked in, I saw some of these incredible stonemasons. They're a very rare breed these days who can do this kind of work. It's intricate work, it's hard work, but it's necessary work to keep the foundations and the walls standing. And that is the case. There goes the microphone. Normally I'd say I never met a mic I didn't like, but that was my favorite. Is that yours?
No, it's not. I'm just helping someone else.
Okay, that's nice of you.
I am.
You guys all get along and
I am
collaborate
nice.
nicely, eh?
There you go.
Thank you. That's the kind of intricate, hard work that we have to do as parliamentarians to protect our economy, and that takes a plan. A plan to reverse the Liberal housing crisis, a plan to reverse the Liberal inflation crisis, a plan to reverse the Liberal jobs and economic growth crisis, a plan to stand up against American tariffs. And that plan always comes in the form of a budget. A budget determines and informs Canadians of the size of the debt and the deficit, of the future interest rate and inflation costs, of the tax policies that determine whether companies hire or fire employees, of the laws that allow us to or block us from building major infrastructure projects that will create jobs and make us more independent from the Americans who are threatening us with tariffs. Now, Mr. Carney said during the election campaign that he had a plan. And he took great delight in saying that a slogan is not a plan. Well, a budget is a plan. And if he does indeed have a plan, if he does know what he's doing, then he would introduce a budget so that Canadians know exactly what the finances are. We were very disappointed yesterday to hear that he has no budget plan for this year. This makes it the longest period without a budget since the 60s, the first time there has not been a budget outside of COVID in over 20 years. Extremely unusual. It'll send a bad signal to investors and ratings agencies, and a lot of people will wonder what the Liberal government is hiding about our finances. And so we're here with solutions. I'm proposing offering the Prime Minister to sit down with him and propose conservative solutions that we hope that he will steal. I want him to steal our best ideas. That includes cutting the bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, and other wasteful spending to bring down deficits, inflation, and taxes. We want a real income tax cut that rewards hard work, axes the federal sales tax on new homes to promote more building and lower costs, and stand up against American tariffs with lower taxes on Canadian investment and by repealing all of the anti-energy policies like C-69, C-48, the energy cap, the electric vehicle mandate, and unleashing our resources so that we can become the richest country in the world. Now, these are ideas that Conservatives are putting forward, but I'm happy to bring them right to the Prime Minister's desk and invite him to steal them and put them right in his platform. And if he does, then we will help get those passed before Canada Day. So let's work together. Let's have a real plan, a real budget, and let's bring it home. Thank you very much.
What does it mean for Canadians, the fact that there won't be a budget? Well, it means really that expending is out of control, and that inflation is too high. That's a threat for our social programs. There's no direct answer to the threat of American tariffs. That's what it means. It also means that we don't have a way of approving infrastructure projects to create jobs and to protect jobs. And we need a plan. We need a plan to reduce the cost of living, to protect jobs, and to make us more sovereign from the Americans. A plan means a budget, basically.
Yes.
If the Liberals do not put forward a budget, they don't indicate that they're going to do that in the coming weeks, will you support their tax cut?
I have to see what they're proposing. They, so far in the election campaign, they proposed a very small, very, very small savings. We think it should be a big savings. Canadians are vastly overtaxed after the last decade of Liberals. Right now, Canadians spend more on income tax, sales tax, and other taxes than they do on food, clothing, and shelter combined. So in our view, any tax cut is a good tax cut. But we always have to remember that there's a difference between what Liberals say and what Liberals do. So let's see what they do, and then I'll tell you what we'll do.
Right now the plan is to have a 1% reduction of the lowest marginal tax rate, not too different from what the Conservatives were proposing on the election campaign.
Well,
if that is what is proposed and is what goes on paper in the Ways and Means motion, would the Conservatives support that, yes or no?
I never answer questions that start with if. We'll see what they do. But we support tax cuts. We are the party of tax cuts. And I've been talking about income tax cuts for years now. Our proposal was a 15% income tax cut for the average worker and senior that would save a couple up to $2,000. And we think that is the right way to go. But we'll always work with other parties to cut taxes for Canadians because we believe that a dollar left in the hands of the person who earned it, including all of you, is better than a dollar in the hands of the politician or bureaucrat who taxed it.
Mr. Poilievre, you promised to cooperate with the Liberals. You want to meet Mr. Carney, but your list of proposals, are they definitive or are you prepared to negotiate? Well, of course, it goes without saying there are always changes that we can talk about. These are conservative priorities.
Sur laquelle nous voulons travailler avec tous les autres partis.
We'd like to work with the other parties on.
S'il y a des ajustements qui sont nécessaires
and if adjustments are needed to get them through Parliament, we're prepared to do that. For me, it's results that count.
Mr. Poilievre, is Stephen Guilbeault a threat to national unity in his current role as Minister of National Identity and Quebec Lieutenant?
Yes, he is. Absolutely. I mean, I just find it astonishing that Mr. Carney would appoint a man who says we don't need any pipelines built. The Liberals went around the country pretending they had changed their minds about pipelines after 10 years of blocking them. But now one of Mr. Carney's top ministers comes out and says we don't need any more pipelines and that he would work to block those pipelines. He wants to block road construction. He's against nuclear power. He's against all forms of economic development, and that will be bad for the entire country, to be clear, but especially antagonistic to the resource-producing provinces like Saskatchewan and Alberta, who rightly feel that they have been mistreated by this lost Liberal decade. So what we see, we have Mr. Guilbeault, who wants to block resource development. We have Sean Fraser, who created the immigration crisis and then the housing crisis. A new housing minister yesterday who says he doesn't want housing costs to go down. Presumably he wants them to go up like they did when he nearly tripled them as mayor of Vancouver. So what we're seeing is that in the last 48 hours of this Liberal government is looking a lot like the last 10 years of the Liberal government. What we need is a real change, a change so that we can bring home the country that we knew and loved, so that anyone who works hard gets a powerful paycheck. They can live in a nice, affordable home on a safe street, and we as Conservatives will work with anyone to bring home that Canada. Thank you very much. Thank you.